I have noted that there are a lot of complaints about the new Ghostbusters film, and a lot of reason I say Ghostbusters sarcastically are covered well by people like the angry video game nerd, who point out that it has little identity beyond, what else, the gender card. I end up needing to make a video because there is something I can say that hasn't been said a million times already. Namely, there are some unfortunate implications missed in this entire miserable mess. I am not talking about the racial stereotyping everybody is thinking of, although that doesn't film no favors when it's overdone beyond belief and encourages women to be intensely misconstrue sarcasm over their nonsense, simply to prove yet again why PMS comes across as an unrelatable excuse to be unpleasant when that could be considered awesome somehow. As well as gush over being rescued when they clearly couldn't need it just because the guy doing the rescuing happens to have muscles. Please ignore the case of Hubbard, you beat him as well. Suffice to say why I hate those invidious types who ironically become even worse stereotypes in an effort to not be pushovers. And believe me when I say that I don't even want females to be idiots or pushovers any more than I want them to not be nice. That brings up the unfortunate implications that I do want to talk about. The implications involving effort! People left and right are saying that all of the male characters in Ghostbusters are dumb or villainous, one or the other, with no third option to avoid being either. That by itself already warrants complaint. It's the year 2016. Why do we have guys stay consistently unappealing? Oh, but wait! They have muscles! They don't need to be simultaneously smart and heroic. There's no way that squishy-witted male characters could possibly have difficulties to overcome that would force them to plunge outside their weight class, or other aspects that would be easy to be creative with. I'm sorry, but that's just a farce. What really warrants complaint is that the female characters give the impression of being one-note stereotypes, period. And this ultimately contributes to the unfortunate implications. Why? Because they're also cast as the heroes! When we look back at the original Ghostbusters, while I have to look up things because I hadn't seen that for quite a while, I do notice that the freaking token minority there, none other than Winston Zeddemore, is actually well-rounded in his own right, when he's still the big guy to begin with. Where's that sort of development in the remake? The unfortunate implications, ergo, is that less effort is needed from female characters to be successful than male characters do, just because they're female. And that's not right! That's not right at all! There is a key reason for wanting female empowerment whatsoever, encouraging the I can do anything mentality for females. That doesn't excuse a lack of effort in the least. A lack of effort, or whatever, it does so little to counterbalance innate bias against the opposite sex, if that. In fact, with problems like Mooney Gazelle Gambit or Chained to a Bed, the exact opposite problem is already concerning. Those who want to claim me to be hypocritical about effort can look at my videos of various challenge runs and know that I get snarky or outraged toward challenges that demand exploitive behavior compared to ones that provide a genuine feeling of accomplishment or are more bound to provide praise or gushing. Both involve saying that anybody can do such and such. The latter gets treated well for actually saying that hard work does work, for managing things like significant lung division in one's head and seeing it actually pay off. I need to bring this up. Bayonetta in Super Smash Bros. 4 is able to work for me because of her gameplay. Because she has weaknesses that provide a sense of affinity play. Without that, she has the problem that she already comes across as a vamp cliche. I dislike the vamp cliche, but it's able to serve a good purpose like what happened with, say, Lust in Full Metal Alchemist. The problem is that Super Smash Bros. Is supposed to be family friendly, which Bayonetta screams being anything but, even without hard to know things like where her shield centers around. Hint, it ain't her face. You can argue that there are things like Palutena's Saitan in Super Smash Bros. 4, but Palutena's Saitan I will speak for as Palutena being the Gadfly. In other words, Palutena's case works because Palutena herself is a well-rounded character. So it's safe to say that gender is, you guessed it, simply not an excuse for lack of effort. I will say this, even without considering that people could be wanting to consider me to be misogynistic or whatnot. The cross-exhaust incident is absolutely heinous. And if you need to look it up, I'll provide a link in the description. Same for what also happened recently to a user named Sticky Kitty. That proves that these sorts of problems just keep happening. It doesn't change that there is clear attempt by females at overcompensation. I only take issue that females could think I should be trying to invoke savvy guy energetic girls for shallow reasons. Let's ignore that Genki Girls would inevitably play by heart, and its well-managed playtesters would likely expose fake difficulty or other general annoyance, even if balancing wouldn't be done for their sake by encouraging satisfactory outside-the-box solutions to problems in a given game. Now, that brings up something. Females, not just Genki Girls, are supposed to be generally better than males at thinking outside the box. I will say, I do have rules for myself about alcohol for different reasons, but if females are going to pride themselves on being capable, they should prove they are capable, not fall to some cheap complacency. You see where Ghostbusters fails miserably on its near premise. I have a story that, surprise surprise, would be playing the gender card, but I know I'd be more creative than Ghostbusters. That's not some form of ego talking, even if I can back it up. That's proving that something so hyped up that some rich snobs simply doesn't care to push itself to a welcome level of creativity. Because Ghostbusters just steals the name of a celebrated franchise to make up half-efforted cliché trash! And seriously, it's already a rampant problem with video games that there's plenty of half-efforted cliché trash. I swear to God! Ugh! I really would be needing to rant as much as I do, because ultimately, the reason I'd be fighting for females in video game communities would be to have them bring about a welcome increase in creativity and finesse, without them having to live in fear of savages who would gladly indulge in unsportsmanlike gloating, up to and including widespread, including, but certainly not exclusive to, widespread usage of the term salt. However, for that to happen, females would have to prove themselves respectable too. They shouldn't make this stereotyping garbage. They shouldn't be trying to make a quick buck for, you know what I'd be about to say. They shouldn't be arbitrary in their treatment of guys. They should actually have bravery, creativity, and especially patience. Now, if you people will excuse me, I have some gator wrestling to handle. Hopefully.